Now, a mother whose 16-year-old son was killed by a machete-wielding gang says that she is beyond angry after learning that one of her son's killers has been posting rap videos bragging about the attack online.
Leanne Ekland's son, Max, was murdered along with his best friend, Mason Rist, in Bristol just over a year ago. But now she's become one of many bereaved families who find out that their loved one's killers still have access to phones and social media and online websites from behind bars, even though that is banned.
We do appreciate how difficult this is for you. I mean, to be honest with you, I found it extraordinary that you're able to speak at all about this. I mean, you must be so angry that words must choke in your mouth. Yeah. When did you first discover that this guy was posting these disgusting lyrics online?
My daughter made me aware that there was an account, so I stupidly searched for the account and I came across it. And it was actually private at the time, so we couldn't actually see any of the posts, and I sort of kept checking it. And then eventually it became public. I noticed that there was a rap on there. I didn't really go into it, and I reported it to Instagram to have it taken down. You get your generic message to say that we're going to look into it. I looked the next day and there was another rap, so I went onto that rap and I didn't want to listen to it. And I heard the reference of 33 seconds, which is obviously how long the attack took. Yeah. And that's all I needed to hear. So I knew that was reference to Max and Mason. So then I got in contact with my liaison officers and reported to them. And I knew that many of my friends and family knew about the account as well, and they were reporting the account. I personally think it was taken down because the media got involved.
I'm sure you're right, yeah.
And then, obviously, yeah, it was quite distressing to hear. So,
one of the young men who murdered your boy is glorifying in it.
Yeah.
He's not sitting in the Young Offenders Institute, and he'll shortly go on to prison, ashamed or thinking about what he did.
No.
He's using it to make his kind of music.
Yeah, yeah. It's an insult to my son, you know. They were two really lovely boys. They were not wrapped up in any gang wars, any postcode wars. They were two boys who went out for a pizza and never came home.
I know.
You know, and they were shown in court that they were showing remorse, and I personally didn't see that in court. And it's obviously now, he's not shown any remorse.
Oh, quite the opposite.
He's gloating about what he's done. And then to put on a post that my previous Instagram post has been taken down, add this one, and more raps will follow. And it was just, I don't understand how he could have access to any internet. Like, he's lost that right when he murdered my son and Mason. All that right, he should not have any internet access at all. And he is allowed internet access with supervision, which obviously that's failed because he's obviously managed to... I don't believe he should have any right to the outside world.
Well, there's a few issues here because he is not supposed to be online without supervision. So if he's online and someone supervised this, that would in itself be an absolute travesty of justice, wouldn't it?
Definitely.
I just want to let you know what the response is from Prisons and Probation Service. Victims and their families deserve better than to see perpetrators gloating about their horrific crimes on social media. We work with the police to investigate and remove harmful content and punish any offender who is caught using a phone or social media in prison, including with extra time behind bars. Have you been contacted about how this guy got access to social media or got access to a phone to film this?
Absolutely nothing. And I think that's where I feel a bit let down, because I think if they would personally have contacted myself or Nikki and actually explained the situation, I probably wouldn't be as angry. Obviously, of course I'm angry. It should have never happened, but I think we are the victims in this. And I think that they should have personally contacted us and said, look, we are sorry, we're going to look into it. It should have never happened, and I would have accepted that.
And also to find out what the punishment
Exactly.
is going to be.
Yeah.
Because it says here, we would punish any offender, including with extra time behind bars. I mean, for you to feel that justice is done, you need to feel that this individual and those involved feel remorse.
Yeah.
As you said, this is not evidence of remorse.
No,
This is
definitely
evidence of some sort of
Definitely
pride or gloating. It's disgusting.
Yeah, yeah.
So what punishment is he going to get?
Yeah. You know, it didn't matter what sentence Cody or any of the other defendants got. You know, I live my life sentence every day. I feel I'm imprisoned in my home. I'm scared to go out sometimes. And if he's actually got access to the outside world, he could be talking to anybody. I could be a target. And it frightens me. But I'm not going to hide away because of that. He's already ruined my life, you know. My heart beats, but I died that day. And I'm not living. I'm existing. And he done that, and then to actually see that on TV or on Instagram and Snapchat, because it's not just Instagram, it was Snapchat, for him gloating.
It's honestly horrific.
You know?
for
And
you.
one of the worst aspects of this, there are so many horrible aspects to it, is that of all people, it's you, his mother, who's having to report this, who's having to pick up arms on this. It's you who's having to do this. No one else is doing it. Not one other soul. It's you.
Yeah. And my daughters have been, they're tormented by this, you know. It's not nice to see.
And especially as the individual says, more raps are to come. So now you must be in a sense, a state of, when's it going to happen? When am I going to hear more? I'm absolutely shocked that the prison service hasn't been in touch with you directly to explain what happened, to explain what measures they're taking to make sure that this doesn't happen again. When a threat has been made, that it will happen again, and to tell you what the consequences will be.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you are in that situation. So the Meta got in touch, we got in touch with them. They confirmed to us both of Cody's accounts have been taken down. We're happy for you to share that Meta has already taken action.
What about Snapchat? They've said that it, quote, strictly prohibits the glorification of violent behaviour on our platform. If we become aware of the content or it's reported to us through our in-app reporting tools, we remove it and we take appropriate action. Look, this programme will be contacting the prison service today and putting these questions to them. And we'll be asking them why they haven't contacted you, and more to the point, when they are going to contact you and what they're going to say. And as soon as we get that information, and I sincerely hope we do, we'll pass that straight on to you.
Thank you, I
And
appreciate
what
it.
punishment Cody gets
Yeah,
for using a phone or being online.
yeah, definitely.
Look, before we let you go, do you want to tell us a little bit about your memories of Max and his friendship with Mason?
I knew you were going to ask me this.
Well, because the reason I asked Leanne, and you don't have to answer, is because Max was more than somebody who was the victim that night, wasn't he? Max was he was your son. I don't want to make you. I want to remember Max. And we can do that. We can do that afterwards if you like. We can talk about Max.
Yeah.
But he wasn't a victim. He was a wonderful, gorgeous,
And he was.
16-year-old
He
boy,
was.
wasn't he?
And that is why I do what I do.
Yeah.
You know, this is why I get up every day. Because I know that's what he would want me to do.
Yeah.
But I'm struggling to learn to live without him. It's really difficult because he was just a massive part of my life. He was a massive part of my girl's life. And it's really affected us as a family. You know, grief is sometimes supposed to bring you together, but it's not brought us together because we don't know how to cope with our grief.
Because you've been robbed of the future, haven't you? It's not just you've been robbed of him in the here and now. You've been robbed of his future and all those years ahead of him.
Choose my son's coffin. I should never have had to arrange his funeral. You know, it's and I've got to live with that for the rest of my life.
Apart from what's happening and the story that we're talking about today, what else are you doing in Max's memory? How are you fighting for him?
Well, we've set up a Max Dixon Foundation.
Good.
So just to do with bleed kits and stuff like that, and it gives me such a purpose to get up in, and I see his face, and I think, like, you deserve to be remembered in such a good way and not the way that you were taken away from us.
And a bleed kit, I mean, it sounds like an obvious thing, but that is to make sure that anybody...
They've got vital minutes
immediate
before,
access.
yes, before any, obviously, ambulance service or anything. It just gives them that vital minutes that could save their life.
You are going to save lives.
Yes.
And that is an important purpose. And you do have a future, Leanne. You and your family.
Yeah, it's just hard.
You're an incredible woman.
You're a very brave woman indeed.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
And as you know, Leanne, tragically, you're not alone in this story.
No.
You're not alone. You're not the first parent who's discovered this disgusting stuff coming out of prisons. So it makes sense for us to say to you that if you've been affected by any of these issues that we've been talking about here with the incredibly brave Leanne, there is advice and support. It's at itv.com/helplines.